Hey, what's up guys? Brian from Zombie Guitar here. This lesson here is kind of like an intermediate lesson, and it's designed to solve a specific problem that a lot of guitar players have, and that is chord tone targeting. All right, so this is for those of you that are at the point where you're pretty good at, soloing, you're playing through scales. You can play your pentatonic scale, you can play your diatonic scale, you can play in minor keys, you can play in major keys. But when it comes to targeting specific notes within the scale, which are known as chord tones, it's kind of tough because sometimes the chords change fast, and it's just kind of like a monumental task. Just doing it in one position, let alone the entire fretboard, it could take a very, very long time. Okay, the cage system is designed to, that's the whole point of the cage system, is to help you to understand where the chord tones are found within each position of the fretboard, but when it comes to real life practical applications, playing in a live situation, sometimes your brain just doesn't work that quickly. I totally understand. It takes a very, very long time to do. This lesson here is a shortcut to essentially bypass most of the troubles that you're having. Okay, so instead of focusing on all of the chord tones over all of the chords at all times, we're just going to focus on 3 separate groups of diatonic chords within the key signature. So let's take the key signature of A minor / C major. All right, so you have your 6 diatonic chords, or like so. One of the groupings would be the middle chords, C major and A minor. Another one of the groupings would be the clockwise chords, which in this case would be G major, E minor. And then another one of the groupings would be the counterclockwise chords, which would be F major and D minor. So you have 3 groupings of the diatonic chords within this particular key. So you're going to do 3 different things over each of those 3 groupings, and it's going to be much, much easier than trying to focus on all of the chord tones over all of the chords. So that's the idea with this lesson here. Before getting started, just like to give my website a quick shout out, zombieguitar.com. It's a free members area, has tons of free videos. All of the videos that are here on YouTube are freely available on my site. Every video that is on my site also comes with a write-up, all the stuff that I use in my, all the visuals, all the fretboard diagrams, all the chord charts, all that stuff. That's all included with the free membership as well. If you decide that you want to upgrade to full access, there's courses, there's mini courses, there's solo analysis videos, there's 2,000 plus video backing tracks, there's ebooks, there's all kinds of stuff. All right, Zombie Guitar, that's my website. It's my labor of love. Check it out. So as I said, you're going to be taking your diatonic chords for whatever key you happen to be playing in. Any key, there's 12 possible keys. You could look at a key from the major perspective or the minor perspective. In this lesson, the demo that I was doing in the beginning was in the key of C major / A minor. All right, so you're just going to take your 6 diatonic chords that are found in the circle of fifths, break it up into the 3 separate groupings, and do something for each one of those groupings. So anytime a C major or an A minor chord occurs, you're just going to play the pentatonic scale. Anytime a G major chord or an E minor chord occurs, you're going to jump out of the pentatonic scale for a second, and you're going to play this note right here, 4th fret of the G string. That happens to be a chord tone of both the G major chord and the E minor chord, so it's going to sound good over both of those chords. anytime an F major chord or a D minor chord happens in a progression, you're going to jump out of the pentatonic scale and you're going to play this note here, 6th fret of the B string. That is the note F. F is a chord tone of both the F major chord and the D minor chord, therefore it's going to sound good over both of those chords. All right, so let's take a closer look at this theory here. So your pentatonic scale, you probably already know your pentatonic scale sounds good anytime there's a chord progression. As long as you know what the key is, you play the correct pentatonic scale, it's going to sound good. That's the beauty of this pentatonic thing. So this is your A minor pentatonic scale here. This could also be considered the C major pentatonic scale, position 1, if you start and end on the C. So here's your note C. Alright, so that's your A minor pentatonic scale / C major pentatonic scale, position 1. Alright, so let's look at the actual notes. So if you're looking at it from the perspective of A minor, the 5 notes are A, C, D, E, G. Okay, A, C, D, E, G. And then A, back to A. If you're looking at it from the perspective of C major, your notes are C, D, E, G, A, and then back to C. Alright, so same 5 notes, just depends on what note you start on, determines whether it's A minor pentatonic or C major pentatonic. Alright, so anytime you're in this key and an A minor chord or a C major chord occurs and your goal is to target chord tones, well, let's look at the notes of A minor. The notes of the A minor chord are A, C, and E. Okay, so A, C, and E, those are all pentatonic notes. Let's look at the notes of the C major chord. The C major chord is C, E, and G. Again, all pentatonic notes. So if you are soloing over progression in this key and you just want to go full on pentatonic, there's a 3/5 chance that you're going to hit a chord tone over either one of those chords. And if for some reason you don't hit a chord tone but you still play a different pentatonic note, chances are it's still going to sound good, because that's the beauty of the pentatonic scale. Every time you play the pentatonic scale, it just sounds good as long as you're playing in the right key. All right, so A, C, and E, that's part of the pentatonic scale. C, E, and G, that's part of the pentatonic scale. That's what you do over that particular grouping of chords. So then the notes of the G major chord are G, B, and D. So G, B, and D, some of those notes are found within the pentatonic scale, yes, but there's that one note that lands out of the pentatonic scale, and that's that note B. So that's why we're focusing on that note. B right there is the 4th fret of the G string. B can also be found up here, 7th fret of the high E. It can be also found here, 7th fret of the low E. It can also be found in many other areas of the fretboard. We're just looking in this one area for right now. So, you know, you're playing your pentatonic scale, and then that G major chord occurs, and you want your lead playing to really reflect that G major chord. Jump out of the pentatonic scale for a second, boom, jump back, hit that note B, chord tone. Same thing works for the E minor chord. The chord tones of the E minor chord are E, G, and B. So again, you see that one of the chord tones is B. So, you know, again, the B is going to work over the E minor chord as well. And then you have your third grouping. You have your grouping, which is F major and D minor. So F major, the notes of the F major chord are F, A, and C. So that's why we want to jump out of the pentatonic scale temporarily and target this note right here, which is the note F. That's one of the chord tones of the F major chord. Then you have your D minor chord. So D minor is the notes D, F, and A. Again, F is one of the chord tones of the D minor chord. That's why that works. All right, so what we've done here is we took a very abbreviated approach to the concept of chord tone targeting or chord tone soloing, whatever you want to call it. We're still targeting chord tones. We're just not targeting all of the chord tones. If you want to, know all of the chord tones in pentatonic position number 1 and all of the chord tones in pentatonic 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, if you want to know that, like I said, I put a link below to a page of my website that contains 20 or so lessons that goes very deep into chord tone soloing. I have a 10-part chord tone soloing series. I think it's part 5 or part 6. That's where I take each of the 5 pentatonic positions and I show you where all of the cage shapes fall within each of the 5 positions. So that's the complicated way. This is the very abbreviated way, all right? So we were just looking right here in pentatonic position number 1, and we know that for, using our circle of fifths to help us out, the middle chords, it's all pentatonic. The clockwise chords, you jump out of the pentatonic position, but 1 fret lower. For the counterclockwise chords, you jump out of the pentatonic position, but 1 fret higher. So you just have to find where that one note is found within whichever pentatonic position you happen to be playing in. So we were just in pentatonic 1. So let's say we have a chord progression that goes A minor, C major, G major, D minor, A minor. So you have A minor. Okay, I know to do all pentatonic there. C major. I know to do all pentatonic there. G major. I know that I have to jump out of the pentatonic scale in that direction. And then D minor, I know that I have to jump out of the pentatonic scale in this direction. So that would be a little exercise I might want to do just in pentatonic position 1. And then I might want to do that same exercise for all the pentatonic positions. I would personally recommend maybe jumping to pentatonic position 4 next. You can do whichever one you want, but that's pentatonic position 4 is very similar to 1 because that's why I call it the A string home box. So if I wanted to do the same type of exercise, A minor gets all pentatonic stuff. C major gets all pentatonic stuff. G major, I have to find that one note out of the pentatonic that's in that direction, so there it is there on the B string this time for this position. And then D minor, I have to jump out of the pentatonic position, find my one note in that direction, so alright, so it's on the E string in this position. See what I'm talking about here? So find that one note here, find that one note maybe in position 2, 3, 4, and 5. It's a lot easier than finding all the cage shapes. Alright, so I wanted to keep this lesson relatively short. Hopefully what I was trying to say here made sense. If what I was saying was not making sense, feel free to ask, message me, leave me a comment. I'll try to make a follow-up video to this, or I'll try to link you to another relevant lesson that may help answer your question. So, that's the lesson for today. Thanks for watching. See you next time.